are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Everybody, how y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Definitely want to say I appreciate all of y'all so much for still being a part of my membership, for being loyal subscribers, still following me, still supporting me. I tell you, these last couple of weeks have been very, very interesting, honey. YouTube has been putting their foots on my neck. So I've had a couple of minor violations, with one of my thumbnails, supposedly with inappropriate nudity. And recently the post I did about Simon, when I used the word NICCA, supposedly that was cyberbullying. So it's been a lot of nitpicking and stuff. So I know the first incident had caused my membership to be paused, and I see a couple of you have rejoined, which I appreciate that. But these YouTube streets are real sensitive, y'all. So they are looking for any little thing now to violate you for, you know what I'm saying? So I've had a couple of run-ins, but nevertheless, there's always a lesson to be learned. So I've learned to be a little bit more careful with how I utilize my craft, because again, they are being really extra right about now. And you have a lot of content creators other than myself that's also been going through that. They flagging people if you're using other content creators content, and one would think it's fair use. I mean, as long as I can understand them demonetizing that particular video if it belongs to a content creator, but when it gets to the point they're talking about giving you a channel strike and stuff like that, it's like, so nevertheless, y'all, it's just been a couple of hiccups, but nevertheless, God has mercy and grace. So got to keep it moving. You just take an L as a lesson, and you just continue to perfect your craft. So anyhow, I wanted to get into this right away, right? I wanted to talk about the situation with Porsha. A lot of her fangirls, the Porsha praise team, was really reaching. And when everything first came out with Simon Gabordia and Porsha, and I've been called it out. Anybody who's been rocking with me for a while, y'all know I've been called it out. Matter of fact, the video is in the archives when I said that Porsha and Simon's date of karma was coming. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little snippet from that video when I told y'all it was only a matter of time that karma was coming, because I pretty much predicted ahead of time that somehow, some way, their secrets were going to come out. I just never felt like, you know, their relationship, their marriage was really genuine or authentic. That's just my opinion. You know, I had the Porsha praise team coming for me, feeling some type of way, you know, labeling me as a hater, and you know how these followers and these fans, you know, these worshipers, they don't think that you're not supposed to have an opinion about people that they worship. They think if you do have an opinion, they just want it to be positive all the time. They don't want you to never have anything negative to say, which in actuality nobody is perfect. So everybody does not have to like or agree with, you know, who you worship, who you idolize. Everybody does not have to support or like that person. But anyway, I had called it out in a video many months back. Matter of fact, yep, the video was 10 months ago. And hopefully I remember to put the video in the link. And the video I did way before Simon and Porsha got exposed was called Simon and Porsha Will Reap Their Day of Karma. And I've been called it out. I said it was going to happen. So we're going to just pause the brakes, right? Because I want to play a snippet of that video when I first uploaded it. That way we can have a foundation as to what I'm going to be going into today, addressing the Porsha and Simon situation. So anyway, I'm going to pump the brakes right here, and I'm going to play just a snippet of this video that I did myself personally way before Simon and Porsha got exposed. I've been called it out. I said karma was coming, and it definitely has arrived. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the snippet, and then I will continue with my comments. Price to live that life. Everything looks one way on the outside until you actually in it. And y'all praising a woman that could possibly be very low-key miserable. But because she done showed her ass, she got to keep up this persona now. She got to keep it up. She can't afford to look stupid at this point because, of course, she knows there's people watching her, fouling, looking at her. People who know what she did was wrong is looking at her. She has an image to preserve. So, of course, she's going to walk around smiling and laughing and making like, I got to go on. She did the same thing with Cordell, and she was miserable. Porsha is one of those women that no matter how toe up from the floor per situation is, she's going to smile. Hey, girl, what's up, girl? I'm doing good, girl. I'm happy, girl. Everything is wonderful. Let her tell it. And then these are one of the ones you find out when a year or two down the line it's time to divorce. All the skeletons come out the closet. Look at Kim Zolciak. Up here smiling with Croy. Bitch was miserable the whole time because her man was broke. Wasn't able to splurge on her. It's very hard to keep up with a lie. To act like you happy about something till it gets to a point you can't even pretend to be happy no more. That's why that divorce came out so abruptly. Things was getting too hard for Kim to keep lying and keeping up this united front. The IRS kept sending them letters to that big beautiful mansion. The IRS kept hounding them. She like, damn, I can't even pretend this shit is cool. I want out of this marriage. He's broke. And sometimes it gets so bad, you can't even pretend to fake it no more. You want out. I believe Porsha and Simon, they're both going to get what's coming to them because God don't bless no mess. Y'all can sit up here and be part of the Porsha praise team and try to make her feel good in her wrongdoing. But that's what the enemy does, y'all. You have to be careful. Everybody that criticizes you is not your enemy. And everybody that praises you is not your friend. Some people praise you for failure. Listen, I have people on my last job, right, telling me I was doing a great job only to turn around and terminate me over something petty. Because somebody that I reported had an issue with me reporting them. Same people that was telling me, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you coming on my day off. And people who I thought was criticizing me because they was
picking with me, those were the ones who really wanted me to succeed and do well. So don't think because people is praising Porsha that they happy for her. Some people praise you just to keep seeing you make an ass out yourself. Everybody is not your friend. And you women that's up here co-signing on her, criticizing her on her Jezebel shenanigans, shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. Because I guarantee you, if it was a friend of yours who came up in your house that you invited over for some mimosas and a jacuzzi girl time, y'all would not be feeling that way. Say what you will, but if it was you in that situation, if you was fouling half of y'all hoes, excuse my French, y'all would be feeling the same way. She's bitter. Get over it. Ain't no get over. How you gonna get over something like that? This woman come to your house drinking your mimosas out my good glass. I ain't talking about no Dollar Tree glass. You drinking out my good glass from Pier 1, and the whole time you scoping out my husband. That thing will make you look 1,000 ways like, damn. So when she shook my husband's hand, or when my husband opened the door for her, was he really looking at her like that? When my husband was sitting over there, was he really checking out? That will make anybody want to catch a case. I commend Fallon for being as humble and well put together as she is, because that'll make any woman feel some type of way. Y'all can sit up there and don't judge, y'all hating, and y'all think every time somebody is against something that's wrong in the eyes of the Lord, they hating because we ain't congratulating. No, I'm just not participating. I'm not participating in the fuckstivities and the Jezebel shenanigans. Porsha is not that happy. You conquered him, you got him, now you stuck with the Negro, you stuck with his big stomach, you stuck with his stubborn ways, you probably ain't getting to do half of what you thought you was going to do. You probably thought you was going to be able to get his black card and swipe, swipe, swipe. He probably have you on a restriction. Listen, these guys with money, they don't let you live the best life like you think. These men with money, they just as strict as staying with your parents. You can't spend like you think you can. Just because you got a Bentley or Porsche, he probably only let you drive that on certain days. Or he lets you drive it because there's a tracker on it and he can see where the hell you going. Everything is never what it looks like, hunty. Stop letting these reality show marriages lie to y'all like they're so happy and they living it up. We've seen all the different Housewives franchises like the Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and Joe Goodice. She acted like she was hot shit and it all went to shit. All this time, everything they was buying, a big old house, all the expensive furniture, they was stealing money for years. And it came out later. A lot of them getting exposed. I strongly believe the day and the time is going to come where we're going to find out Porsha and Simon have signed a deal with the devil when they married each other. And it's all going to come out in the open. They're going to try to hold it down because Porsha is the queen of knowing how to smile. No matter how sloppy her life is going. Porsha has become a professional at smiling for the cameras and making everything look glitz and glamour. She did it with her first marriage and look what happened. She tried to make it look like her and Dennis had more than what it was and look what happened. I really believe it's going to come back and blow up in their faces because they was wrong. But how they did it. It's not always what you do, but how you do it. If y'all was going to go there, at least you could have been was discreetful. Y'all around here all on front cover magazines, all everywhere on the scene with each other. Like y'all did not get together the wrong way. And yes, the world is going to praise you. Because guess what? The world is so mixed up and confused. Everything that's right, they're going to make it wrong. Everything that is wrong, they're going to make it right. These are the times that we live in this day and age. People are just listen, ladies. People are going to co-sign and make the most effed up situations. They're going to try to make it look right and sound right. Just face it. But there's a God who sits high. And while the world tries to justify it, God gonna bring them down to shame and ruin to show y'all, I don't care what the world says. I am the Lord. My word is going to stand. And mark my word, God is going to make an example out of Simon and Porsha for their wrongdoing. He's letting them have, he's putting them out there in the world because he wants y'all to praise him and put them up there. So when he gets ready to bring them down and make them humble themselves, y'all are going to see how much God is no joke. God does not play with his children. That was Fallon and Simon's marriage. There's nothing none of y'all can say in the comment section or anywhere else to justify.
So I'm going to pump the brakes there. Y'all get my drift. So I had already, like I said, I had already called it out. I said the day was coming. And I also, used an example about Teresa and Joe Goodice, whom is also in the thumbnail. And coincidentally, what I did not know was that Simon's and Porsha's situation would be so similar to theirs. And just like they found out Joe Goodice, and also those of you who are not familiar with Joe and Teresa Goodice, they are from the Housewives of New York franchise. I think it's New Jersey. Yeah, the Housewives of New Jersey. That's where that's the franchise they are from. I think they've been out way before the Housewives of Atlanta. But it's very ironic that before I even knew Simon was a scammer, that I was pretty much, hitting on the nail when I used Teresa Goodice and Joe Goodice, because that's what ultimately ended up happening to them. They, Joe and Teresa agreed to get on the Housewives of New Jersey show. And I remember how nasty and mean Teresa was, and how much she would act like her and Joe had this perfect marriage. She was very materialistic. She always bragged on all of the things they had, all of the money they had. And we noticed throughout the show that Teresa would only spend in cash. She would never use debit cards. She would never use, checks and stuff like that. Most people that make big money, they don't turn around. Most millionaires don't keep a bunch of cash on them unless you Floyd Mayweather or 50 Cent. But for the most part, most millionaires keep everything, or wealthy people keep everything on the card. They wasn't using any cards. And then we found out later, and Teresa was so goofy, she even somewhat admitted, like, yeah, we don't do cards, we do cash. Everything we pay is in cash, giving the IRS all this information. And I say all that to say this. That's what I feel, and it has been confirmed that somebody in the inside of Bravo knew somebody either tipped them, or a producer did their own research. Because you got to realize, before they cast any of these individuals, they do background checks. They're not just going to let criminals take a chance to have criminals on their shows, take a chance to have possible, escape convict on their shows. They check these people backgrounds, okay? They do. They check their backgrounds. So I believe somebody somewhere knew Simon was living foul. Just like they ain't had a problem with allowing Joe and Teresa to come on the show, knowing there was something that was brought to their attention. And when it comes to these networks, they don't care who they have to throw up under the bus in order to get the views they need, especially when the show is dying. We know the Housewives of Atlanta has been on resuscitation for quite some time. The show is on life support. So you have to realize, when it comes to these reality shows, in many instances, you are signing a deal with the devil. And especially if you're not aware that you have some things in your life, or maybe the person you're with have some things in their life going on that it should not be made for TV. Unless you're legitimate, I don't advise anybody becoming a cast member on a reality show when you have RS. It has happened to many people. There was even this musician by the name of diffrent. It happened to him. He decided to do a reality show, and all along he was getting free housing. And when it was brought to the, the housing agency's attention, all the money he was getting off the reality show, he got exposed. He had to put all that money back. Fortunately, he didn't have to do no time. And by then, his music career had already kind of picked up. So he wasn't in a major strain. He was able to recover from it. But you have a lot of these individuals that will get on these shows knowing they stuff ain't straight. So basically, Tasha K and a couple of other content creators have already confirmed somebody knew from the inside that Simon had some mess going on, and that's why they kept bribing and trying to persuade Porsha to come back to the show. Porsha bucked them for a while. She bucked for a while, and it's not because she had all this integrity. She bucked for a while because they weren't willing to pay her what she wanted. These reality show stars, they get greedy. When they first get put on, they're willing to take any little amount because they're so thirsty for the opportunity and for the chance to be on the show. They'll take a few pennies, but after they done been on it for a while, now all of a sudden, and I get it, hey, I've become very popular. I've become an asset to your franchise. I want more pay. It is what it is. So anyway, that is the word that has been confirmed allegedly, and I'm gonna say everything in this content is alleged and based off of my own opinion. Nothing I say is actual factual. All of this is just straight up opinionated perspective. But for the most part, many sources have confirmed, y'all, that somebody from the inside knew. That's why they kept pushing up on Porsha. And her being the bird brain she is, she didn't give it much thought. Pretty much that's what she does with everything. She does not give it much thought. Anytime a show is so eager to have you back, after you have declined them, something in your gut should make you kind of like wonder, like, why are they so eager to try to get me back on the show? And sure enough, all of this came to light as they are filming, because they are filming now as we speak. And you got these Porsha Praise Team fangirls who quote unquote want to believe that Porsha knew and felt like this would make good TV, and that's why she agreed to sign with Bravo. Listen, even the most dingiest ditzy female does not want this type of exposure. Nobody is this thirsty to have that much exposure to where they're willing to be humiliated with their husbands being a scammer. Nobody wants that type of notoriety. Nobody wants attention on that level to where you're willing to be embarrassed and humiliated, especially when you done brag and you done this big old phenomenal, this double wedding, Nigerian / American wedding. I think Porsha absolutely had no idea. Porsha's a beautiful woman, but she lacks judgment. She lacks discretion. I don't think she looked into any of that. All she saw was what Simon presented, what he advertised, and in her mind, she felt like she landed a baller. Okay, so she didn't feel like she had to do the extra research. Just like Ariana and a lot of these females around here thinking they struck gold, when really they struck brass, something that's not even worth of any quality. You feel me? Basically, Bravo used her. Bravo used Porsha and Simon. They used them, and I'm surprised Simon did not try to get Porsha to disagree, knowing that he had all of these issues with citizenship, issues with being legalized, knowing that he's using multiple names to get a green card. I don't know why he would allow Porsha to agree to doing this type of show, knowing that it was a high probability that he was going to get exposed. But Joe Giudice did the same thing. Joe Giudice was doing a lot of illegal things. Come to find out, he had been using family members' identity. allegedly his brother's identity, basically scamming his own family just so he can make make these illegitimate investments. And the whole time Teresa being a dodo bird, the ditzy drama queen that she's always been, she was up there smiling, no profiling, and spending money, either totally clueless that her husband Joe Goodice was a scammer and making all type of poor investments, or either she knew but just so badly wanted to be in the limelight she didn't care. Either way, it boils down to the fact that these networks do not have your best interests at heart. These networks are not loyal. They will throw you up under the bus. They will throw you up under the bus, especially once someone provides them some type of information that they feel would definitely make great TV. It's very imperative that you protect your relationship, protect your marriage, especially if you know that you really don't have your lifestyle in order. If you're up here getting all kind of PPP loans, if you're up here using other people's information, other people's identity. I mean, British did it. British from the Basketball Wives. She was on the show splurging and balling out like she was making big girl money, like she was making rich girl money. Up there with Prada bags and, Christian Dior and all these extravagant brands. And the whole time this young lady had been taking a senior citizen's identity, their social security numbers, just straight up being filed. And that's the thing about it. These reality shows will make you live up to the opposite of the reality that they want you to have in order for you to be a good fit of the show. Most of these networks like Bravo, they don't want to do reality shows with people who are in the struggle. It does not make good TV. They're not going to want to pay cameramen to follow someone who does not live an extravagant lifestyle, who can't go on extravagant trips, who can't buy extravagant cars and clothes. It just doesn't make good TV. So what tends to happen is a lot of individuals will pretend to play the part just so they are qualified to get on these type of shows. They would pretend to have this lifestyle, and the main reason they agree to go on these shows because one of these shows will give them money, and because most of them are living illegitimate lifestyles, which is causing them to get illegal monies through illegal means. They will agree to do the show. That way they get some type of income and revenue in. But the stakes are too high if you are already illegally getting revenue and income. It's not worth getting on the show. You got to pick one or the other. If you're going to be illegal, you're going to be a loan shark, you're going to be, getting PPP loans and things like that, then enjoy your illegal wealth in private. You can't be illegal, but then you want to get on a public show where IRS and PPP loan and all of the government, these people, they monitor these shows. Only get on these shows if for the most part you're legal, you making your income legitimately, you paying up on your taxes. Don't get on these shows knowing your business is not in check, knowing you're doing things illegally. Bravo, these networks are not going to warn you. They're not going to say, well, we're just going to let you know. IRS is watching you. They contacted us, or so-and-so police department knows that your husband is involved in some illegal entities. These producers, these networks, they're not going to look out for your best interests. They will let you come on their shows and knowing you're going to be exposed big time, just so it helps to increase their ratings. They don't mind you being publicly humiliated just so their ratings could increase. It has happened to other couples on the show. These producers and these networks, let me tell you something, they are smart. They are brilliant. They know what makes good TV. They don't want wholesome, loving couples, and they don't want to cast women who have perfect lives. They want people who got drama. They want people who provoke and know how to turn up, who bring controversy and drama to the show. These are the people that they want. The whole ultimate goal, the purpose, these reality shows like these networks like VH1, Bravo, the purpose of casting people is to make sure they can contribute drama, controversy, something scandalous to the show that will have people tuning in. Okay, they don't want people. They don't want to cast people that aren't going to have enough of drama or controversy surrounding their lives. It's not. I just hate to say it. People who are trying to live wholesome and be law abiding and trying to live a decent life for the most part, they don't want you on their show. You got to be messy. You got to be, you have to have some type of chaos going on in your life. You got to be messing with somebody's man, dealing with somebody's husband. You got to have a shaky marriage that has problems. They want to cast problematic individuals. That's what makes good TV. That's what happened with our girl Porsha. Don't extend her this grace like she was so smart. She knew what was going to happen, and that was a money move for Porsha. Porsha agreed to do the show because she knew Simon was living foul. Listen, y'all give Porsha way too much credit. And this is what happens, when you idolize people, no matter how bad of a predicament they get themselves in, you try to make an excuse for them and try to justify their patheticness, because you just don't want to believe that they would be that gullible, that they would be they would lack that much discretion to agree to do these type of shows. Listen, Porsha had no clue that Simon had all of these illegal issues going on. First of all, she wasn't with him long enough to get to know him. Why are y'all acting shocked? Like, it's impossible for Porsha to get played. Anytime that you move on with the man that quickly, a married man at that, and you don't take the time to get to know him, I mean, what you expect? Even as a scripture in the Bible that says, it is dangerous to rush into the unknown. And it is. When you really don't know someone well enough and you making big moves with a person you're still learning, you're moving and traveling to other countries with them, you're purchasing homes with them, you're building businesses and stuff together, and you don't even know you could be married or building businesses with somebody that's a straight up crook. Some of y'all could be messing around and getting married to somebody who owes the mob. Some of these men come into your life with skeletons. They don't tell you they have a past. They don't tell you they got a lot of illegal investments that they left dirty and unresolved. Is people on the lookout for them, people who they owe. And you'll be sitting on the passenger side of their Bentley or driving a Porsche, and next thing you notice, they running up on you, putting the heater to your head, and you stuck in the daze because you don't know what the hell going on. Like, what? I mean, why y'all coming after me? Well, your husband owes us X amount of millions, and he fled the country, and he didn't think we was gonna look for him. It's been 2 years. He owes us $100,000, and you're just dismayed. A lot of women have gotten played, and this isn't just something that happens with women who meet foreign men from other countries. You can meet a man within the United States. Some of these men come in with a graveyard full of. I mean, all of us got dirt. Some people got a closet full of dirt, and you got other people who got a graveyard full of dirt. Some of these men come with a lot of buried bones. And if you're so thirsty and you so badly want to be married, badly want to be wiped up, you will jump in right away and not give it a second thought. That's basically what happened, y'all. Somebody from the inside knew something. Okay? Anybody who believes for a second that these producers, these networks, they don't check your background, they know your husband a crook before you. If he ain't set up there and been honest with you, trust and believe these networks are going to dig it up. It's just too coincidental. Same thing with Apollo. And I don't feel, and I'm going to say this, and this is digressing and going off of subject, but I truly believe, I'm going to say allegedly to be cute, but I truly believe Phaedra allegedly knew what Apollo was doing. Okay? And a partner in crime that was with them, Angela Stanton, already exposed Phaedra for that. It just went up, it flew over everybody's heads. But all of us who were diehard fans of the show, we know that Phaedra had an idea what Apollo was doing. Because if you look back, Phaedra kept saying, well, I don't know what he do. He do something. What wife don't know what a husband do? Now, that was Phaedra's way of covering her behind. You got to realize Phaedra's a lawyer. So she kept sitting, she said it more than one time on the show when she was a main cast member. She really did not know what Apollo was doing. That was her way of covering herself. And Angela Stanton, which was the other partner in crime, said that Phaedra knew all along, and how Phaedra assured her when things went down, when Angela and Apollo had to do, their time, that she was going to look out for Angela. Now, this was way before Apollo got exposed. This was later on. Angela Stanton had to do her time right off the bat. And Phaedra basically assured her, because Phaedra didn't have her hands dirty, but she was involved. And she made it seem like to Angela, we all in this together. So if something happens with you, I'm going to make sure your kid's good. I'm going to make sure I look out. And like Angela Stanton said, she didn't do any of that. Angela Stanton can give you way more the details, because I don't remember. It's been out so long ago. But if you go on YouTube and put in Angela Stanton talks about Phaedra Parks or exposes Phaedra Parks, she will give you the whole breakdown of how they met each other, how they got into the shady investments together, all of that. But in many cases, people be knowing. Somebody knows from the inside what is going on. Somebody knew Simon was living foul. And they played Simon, and they definitely played Porsha. But when it comes to networks, it's a business. It's a business. At the end of the day, what Nino Brown said, this is business, not personal. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Okay? Bravo doesn't live by that principality. Am I my sister's keeper? No, I am not. Okay? Bravo and all these other networks, they have no loyalty. Like, in the words of Chris Brown, these hoes ain't loyal. These shows ain't loyal. They don't care. They set Porsha up. They knew that bird brain did not know Simon had a lot of legal issues going on. Bravo looked at that as an opportunity. Oh yeah, this would be a great storyline. This would really bring our show back to life, because the show is on life support. Like, beep. The show is just dying. Everybody's been saying, Bravo, put a plug on Atlanta Housewives. But that's what happened. Okay, they played your girl. Bottom line, I don't care who comes in my comment section. Praise the Porsche team. It don't matter. They set y'all girl up. Okay, somebody knew something, and they jumped ship and played crazy. And you know what? And the crazy part is, we don't know what direction this could have came from. Listen, Porsha had enemies. Porsha pissed a lot of people off. Now, I ain't gonna say anything, but ain't it a coincidence that Kandi is jump ship leaving the show coincidentally while Porsha's coming on? I'm just gonna say allegedly. I wonder if Kandi, Kandi know a lot of people, and we know Kandi is not fond of Porsha. Just a thought. But again, I'm gonna say alleged. There's no proof that Kandi had absolutely anything to do with it. But it's just food for thought. When people don't like you, and they get the scoop on something in your life, people got all kind of ways to use it against you. You know, Porsha pissed a lot of people off. Okay, all right, she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Speaking of Porsha pissing people off, child, listen, y'all. Nene is hella upset with Porsha, honey, because Porsha tried to stop the bag. Now, as y'all know, as long as y'all been following me, I've never been a fan of Nene. I just don't care for her. Kenya is my girl. I love me some Kenya. All content creators, we got that girl we like. I know some content creators who can't stand Kenya, okay? And I get it. I don't not listen. I'm not trying to make nobody favor. I like who I like. If you don't like Kenya, I'm not gonna block you or make you unsubscribe. We got who we like. We got who we don't like. Kenya is messy, but I love Kenya. I love her reads. She's a natural beauty. She's stunning. I love me some Kenya. I love her. I just do. I'm gonna tell y'all who else I love. I love the villains, right? I love Mama D. A lot of people hate Mama D to the core. A lot of people cannot stand that woman. Little Scrappy Mama from Love and Hip Hop. I love me some Mama D. I love her. She can't do no wrong in my eyes. Now, would I want her for my mother-in-law? Absolutely not. But I love Mama D. She's hella funny. She does not care what she says. It is what it is. Mama D, you love her or hate her, it don't matter. And I just love me some Mama D. I just would never marry her son. I would never be with her son. She can't be my mother-in-law. Yes, we got some drinks and some mimosas and some hot wings. I can laugh at Mama D all day. But that's beside the point, right? But I'm just saying, you know, we have our favorites. We have our favorites and our least favorites. Now, Nene has never been my cup of tea. However, in this case, I have to, for once, side with Nene. I got to side with Nene. And very rarely, because I'm just not fond of Nene, because I just done seen her abuse her popularity and step on so many people's necks. I done seen her abuse so many friendships. I done seen her gaslight and manipulate the ladies, her friends on the show. I've just seen Nene do a lot of things that just rub me, that just rub my spirit wrong. But that's beside the point. In this particular instance, I agree with Nene. I do. And I'm going to play the footage in which she explains how Porsha basically tried to block her bag. Or she did block her bag. But we're going to play the video together so y'all can get a better insight as to what happened. And in this case, I'm on Nene's side. Now, Porsha has yet to explain her side of the story for us to get a full understanding on it. But in this case, I'm feeling Nene. I'm definitely feeling Nene. I'm feeling where she's coming from. But I'm going to play the video. And in between, I'm going to interject because, like I said, YouTube has been hella coming for me. Okay? So I'm going to interject. And I'm going to be saying fair use and all of that wonderful stuff. And just to protect, you know, my channel. So anyway, let's play it, y'all. Let's play it, y'all. Let's play it.
A disappointing video, but nonetheless, here goes. So earlier this week, I was told by my management company that the Netflix scripted series called The Upshaws were interested in casting me for a part. In Upshaws, it's Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes. Directing this particular episode is Kim Fields. I was excited to do it. It's a comedy. I love comedy. I used to have a comedy show out on the road.
Fair use. I do not own this video. I do not have any rights or ownership of this video. I am only playing it for content and educational purposes only.
It's something that I love to do and was really happy to do it. As the talks went on, we agreed upon whatever we agreed upon. I was to fly out to LA on Tuesday. They told me that Porsha 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 was also playing in this particular series. She would be side by side with me. excited. I haven't seen Porsha. We always have a good laugh when we see each other.
Fair
so
use.
I was just like, okay, so me and Porsha are gonna kill this part. I get to LA on Tuesday. They tell me to go straight to, to the studios. I need to go into wardrobe. Once I got into wardrobe, I'd chosen to wear like this silver color. They showed me a picture of Porsha. They said that Porsha's wearing something similar in color, and maybe I would choose something else because we were gonna be, side by side doing the same.
Fair use.
I gave them a whole different look. They told me we were gonna be having rehearsal. At rehearsal, I didn't see Porsha. There was a stand-in. We broke for lunch. We came back. We were going to do a whole run-through. I still didn't see Porsha. I'm just waiting to see Porsha, right? I'm excited to see Porsha. I'm like, well, I want to, wait till Porsha sense. I'll be a hug and chop it up.
Fair use.
So Porsha never came. We wrapped for the evening. I went back to my hotel. When I got to my hotel, production called me and asked me if I had any issues with any housewives because they were going to be recasting the other position. And I was like, oh my God, no, like, what? And
fair use.
They were going to recast the position that Porsha was playing. And I was like, what? Why? And they said, do you have any issues with Kim Zolciak, Cynthia Bailey, Marlo Hampton? And I was like, no. Like, I just saw Kim recently and we talked. I talked to Cynthia Bailey often. I talked to Marlo Hampton often.
Fair use.
Like, they ultimately cast Cynthia Bailey, and she was flown out to LA on Wednesday. We did the part together. I was later told that Porsha did not show up to work and had said that she did not want to work with me, that we had issues from the past.
Now I want to pop the brakes right there, all right? So basically, for those of you who are not familiar with the show, the Upshaws, it's a show on Netflix. I've actually watched it a couple of times myself. I like the show. It's with Kim Fields and Omar Epps. I'm sorry, Mike Epps. Okay, make sure I say them right. Epps. Mike Epps, not Omar. Okay, and basically, I guess they're going into a season, right? Another season. So they asked Nene and Porsha if they both would be interested in doing the show together. So, long story short, Nene gets there thinking she's going to see her homegirl, because you got to remember, her and Porsha been like dynamic duo with their Nigerian men. So we thought these last couple of past, months or year or whatever. So she gets there wondering why Porsha is not there, and they're basically telling her during rehearsal they're going to have somebody else stand in, and I'm sure the Nene at this point is looking kind of weird, like, okay, they got to have somebody else stand in for Porsha, okay. Then on top of that, when it was time for them to actually record or do the show, they asked her if she would have a problem working with Cynthia, Marlo, or Kim. And, in the event, one of them would be recasted for Porsha's part. And, of course, Nene is lost in the sauce like, well, I get along with everybody, so I wouldn't have a problem working with any of those ladies. Well, come to find out, it was because Porsha spit a birdie to them saying that she did not want to work with Nene due to issues in the past. Talking about a slap in the face, okay? When y'all call yourselves being homegirls, y'all double date y'all Nigerian men together, and to find out thinking you gonna see your homegirl and y'all was gonna laugh and be able to do this show together and have a good time, only to find out from the producers that this chick basically said she does not want to work with you. Now, if that ain't foul, I don't know what is. But we're going to continue to play that beautiful bean footage and let Nene continue to explain. Again, I got to keep interjecting to keep the copyright down to a minimum. So just bear with me breaking and pausing in between.
And she did not want to work with me. Let me take that in for a second. Listen.
Fair use. Yep, that's a lot.
I am more than disappointed. Porsha and I have double dated a few times.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair use.
Okay. Simon had.
I do not own this video. I do not have rights to this video. It's just for fair use only.
Birthday. We were all in Miami together. We hung out for the whole weekend to celebrate Simon's birthday. We all decided one weekend to go to Vegas to see Usher. We all went to Vegas to see Usher, couples. I was in Dubai. Porsha and Simon were in Dubai. We all hung out. Yanni and I have gone to Simon and Porsha's home to hang out, party, drink. My son came over, brought hookahs. We ate African food, had a great time. Of course,
and this we know is true. Simon, Porsha, and Naomi and Nene have always hung out together, always did double dates together. So I know that Nene is definitely telling the truth, because they really hung out very heavily together as couples. They did a lot of activities.
And I'm at her wedding. I've seen Porsha in Atlanta out. We've laughed and talked. I am shocked that Porsha would go to a production company. I am shocked to hear that Porsha would go to a production company and say that she doesn't want to work with me because we've had a lot of issues in the past. What lots of issues that we had in the past. Mind you guys, I haven't been a housewife in over 4.5 years, okay? Besides that, as black women.
Fair use.
Okay, when you call a black woman angry, difficult, we've got problems, I can't work with them on set, that is a death trap for a black woman in the end.
Now, I want to put the brakes on that. I agree, because black women, unfortunately, it's already the stigma when it comes to us that we have an attitude, we're difficult, we're complicated, we're not easy to work with. So the last thing you need is that type of label in the industry, because you will get blackballed. And as we know, especially with Nene, because, you know, after her and the beef with her and the, you know, issues with her and Andy, you know, it's already pretty much not a good look based off of how Nene and Bravo ended their journey with each other. So Nene is still fighting to keep her career, to keep her reputation in good standing. So the last thing you need is another black woman giving anybody the indication that you are complicated, you are difficult, and you don't want to work with her, because it really makes people look at Nene with the left eye like, oh my goodness, you know, because she's still trying to redeem herself from the situation with Bravo. So Porsha should have understood that was the last thing Nene would expect from her.
Industry. We don't have any issues that we can't work together. We have issues that we can't work together. We are professionals. We get on set and we work together and do what we gotta do. Your issues in the past, if you had to pick a housewife, it certainly wouldn't be with me. It would have been with Kenya. It would have been with Candy. Those were your major issues. We've had petty things. We're on a reality show. So we obviously are going to have some sort of issues, but we've not had anything where we could not work together.
Fair use.
I'm sad and disappointed that Porsha would go to any company and say that she's had issues with me and we cannot work together. That is a lie. I text her. So it's not like I'm doing this video, I didn't text her. I text her. And she sent me a text back saying that she's going through her divorce and I didn't reach out to little sis. Are you serious? You and your husband were just happy and smiling in Dubai. I thought you guys were having a fight. And maybe you guys are going to get back together. I don't know what y'all personal business are. I don't want to be nosy, okay? I don't want to invade your privacy. Maybe you need some time. I don't know what you need. I was happy to see her and talk to her and chop it up then. I don't want to cry. Yes, Yanni and Simon are hanging out together, but that has nothing to do with me. I'm not hanging out with Simon. Yanni's hanging out with Simon. I can't change this relationship with that man.
Fair use.
I wouldn't let him change my relationship very disappointing that you would do that. It's very disappointing, and people need to stop. They need to stop doing that. That's not right.
Yes, and I'm going to pump the brakes there. I don't want to overly use anybody's content because, like I said, YouTube is very extra. I will leave the link to the bottom, however. There's a couple of things going on with this, and I'm going to give my intake on what I think is going on. Several factors at hand. One factor could possibly be is that Porsha wants to have all the spotlight on her. This is just a possibility. I don't know. Again, this is not valid. Porsha has yet to speak, okay? I'm just assuming what will cause Porsha to tell the producers that, give them a, what would cause her to want to tell the producers that she does not want to work with Nene. So maybe she wants all the shine on her, because we know Nene has a very strong personality, and Nene has that personality that just draws people very magnetic to her. And maybe it could have been a possibility of a threat that Nene will outshine her. That's one possibility. Second possibility, and this is the possibility that I am leaning more towards on. You have to remember, Nene and Porsha was like this due to the fact both of them were dating Nigerian men. Now keep in mind, Nene was not married to Naomi, okay? And Nene and Naomi had some problems that even was leaked out to the media, that their relationship was not really on the best of terms. She even called him broke, and you know, she threw some shade at her Nigerian man, okay? So we knew that Nene and Naomi was not in a great place. However, Porsha, on the other hand, appeared to be in a really good place with Simon, because we didn't hear about all these shenanigans, the scamming shenanigans. That was way later on down the line. But in the process of the friendship, Porsha seemed to be doing better with Simon compared to Nene with Naomi, okay? And this is what tends to happen in friendship. I don't know if this has ever happened to you ladies, but I'm a witness to this, so I can kind of understand where Nene is kind of coming from, right? You have some females that they don't mind maintaining a friendship with you as long as they are at a certain level. Either they're doing just as good as you, or they're doing better than you. I've had a friendship in which this person did not mind being friends with me as long as she felt like I was doing a little worse than her, as long as she felt like I was kind of going through it in my marriage and her marriage was at a good place, or I was kind of struggling in my finances and her finances were doing good. It's sad, but some women only value friendship when they feel like they're doing better than you. I'm assuming that's a probability that Porsha did not mind being friends with Nene as long as she felt like she had a one up on Nene, because Porsha was actually married to Simon. Okay, so maybe just the gist of that made her feel as if she was a little bit more superior. She had more superiority in that friendship with Nene. And maybe Nene was blind to this. Nene didn't even look at it that way. Like, okay, Nene, Porsha don't have a problem with me being the big sister to her, because maybe she feels like she's doing better than me because her and Simon did solidify their relationship by, you know, promoting it to marriage. And me and Naomi, on the other hand, we have not gotten to that level. So hopefully this is making sense what I'm saying to y'all, but I really feel like Porsha did not mind being friends with Nene as long as she felt like she was doing better than Nene. And now that the tables have turned and Nene and Naomi, of course, I'm assuming they're back together. I'm assuming they're back talking again. But now her ship with Simon has sunk. Now, there's no telling how Porsha and Nene may go more in depth into it later if it ever escalates and gets to that point. But Porsha probably was bragging a lot to Nene about how great Simon was, how good Simon was, and probably was showing her behind. You have women, especially immature, childish women, who will do that. When they get in a little better position, they brag, they tell everything and act like everything's so wonderful and so great. And you know, you be like, oh, okay, oh, that's cool. Oh, you and your husband, y'all went to Nigeria. Oh, okay, y'all purchased y'all a home in Nigeria. Okay, you know, Porsha just strikes me as a type that when she does get it good, she shows her backside. You know, and I think that's what it was. I think that Porsha had put on such a strong fake persona that her and Simon was doing so well. If she did it with her fans, imagine how she probably did it up close and personal with Nene, who she talked to every day, who she was around every day. I wouldn't be surprised if Porsha was a bragger, talking about how great everything was and all of that. And she felt comfortable vibing with Nene like that since they both were dating foreign men. Except I believe Porsha was really like smelling herself with Nene. And in many instances, when a female has smelled herself with you and when her ship sinks, for her, the friendship is not the same because she was only operating with you. She was only able to bond with you on the level of her doing better than you. But now that her ship has sunk, for her, she feels no need to maintain the friendship because that she was only valuing that friendship because you was not a threat to her. But now because her world is crumbling, she no longer feels like she has that one up on you. So now she does not want to be around you. She does not want to be in your company because she can't brag how she used to. She can't put up this front, everything's out in the open, as the song goes. So I think that's what's going on. I think Porsha it could be she wants the spotlight for herself, but I believe she's embarrassed and she does not want to be in the company of Nene right now. Unfortunately, you know, that's how you find out who your real friends are. You know what I mean? Anybody could put up their best front and act like they so loyal and genuine to you as long as they are on the up and up. And my thing is this: real friendship, you shouldn't mind having a friendship with me only when you're at your best. You shouldn't mind still having a friendship with me even when you're at your worst. Just because your life has taken a different journey and this perfect image you put up, you know, is no longer, you know, a part of this class act. You know, it does not mean that you should avoid your friends and even more so cause them to lose out on the opportunity basically because you just don't want to face the fact you don't want to be around this person because you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed about your current situation. And if Porsha had any little bit of goodness in her, that's what she could have done. And at least been woman enough to tell her, look, if she didn't want to admit she was embarrassed, she should have just at least gave Nene that respect that I am not in a good place right now until I get to a place in which I am able to mentally cope with the things that have been transpiring in my life lately. I am going to have to, you know, put our friendship on hold. I'm sure Nene would have accepted that better than I just don't want to work with Nene because we have issues in the past, you know. And it just, like I said before, these shows are not loyal. Those producers could have said, well, you know, right now Porsha has other issues going on, so we just don't want to put y'all together right now, you know, due to the fact that, you know, she has some issues going on. The show blatantly told her. And they're not really wrong, but it just goes to show you that these shows don't have no loyalty, they have no grace. the producers of the Upshaws told her, Porsha don't want to work with you. She said there's been too many issues in the past. And I can definitely tell to Nene that was a punch in the gut. Because again, Nene is already kind of struggling out here getting gigs, you know. Bravo's a very huge network. And the fact that she did not leave with them on the best note, and the fact that she sued him, Nene is already kind of blackballed. You get what I'm saying, as far as, you know, the reality show industry. So any little opportunity she gets, she's going to need it, you know. And the last thing you need, I can see if, you know, the Upshaws had talked to Bravo producers or talked to Andy Cohen, that would be different. But they actually had this conversation with Porsha, which was Nene's friend. And Porsha threw Nene under the bus. Why? Because she's embarrassed and she does not want to face Nene, because that's just a natural reaction. You and a person, y'all been friends for a long time. You know her husband is friends with your friend. You know that's coming. Girl, what's been going on? I haven't seen you. What you been up to? It's a natural reaction for people to ask, what happened? Oh, what's going on right now? I thought everything was good. I thought y'all was in a good place. What happened? It's only natural that at some point Nene probably would have asked. Would she have been wrong? No. Same thing. I was in a situation like that. I had a friend, her whole man, you know, who she used to always brag about and all this and that, you know, things went left. Well, actually, our friendship ended before things went left. And when things went left, you know, he just so happened reached out to me. And he was like, hey, you know, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm so-and-so, you know, ex-husband. I'm like, okay, how's it going? Because, you know, he never gave me any problems. We always had gotten along, you know. And he told me the real scoop. You know, what was going on? Why they divorced? Why they're not together? And I'm like, you know, it's sad because she never would have gave me that version. The version she always gave me was everything is great. Everything is wonderful. We're doing good. We're riding off into the sunset. And she didn't want to genuinely and authentically tell me that things weren't that great. Why? Because she always put up the united front with me. And that's how you know a person is not your friend, because they should not feel threatened by telling you, hey, this is what's going on. If you don't want to go into the details, I get it. Some things are just too embarrassing. You don't want to be transparent. Porsha is still trying to heal and you know, maintain this public humiliation. She didn't have to go into details if she didn't want to. But the fact that you were willing to throw Nene under the bus, make her lose out on the opportunity. When if them people would have had favor for Porsha and say, okay, we're not going to give Nene this opportunity since you don't want to work with her? When if it would have went that way? When if they would have told Nene, we're just not going to work with you? Nene was like, huh? Why? When if Nene would have not known that Porsha would have played a part in her not being granted that opportunity? Nene would have still all this time been thinking everything is good, and it's sad, but you really don't know how these females feel about you till things start going wrong for them. Okay, long as they're on the up and up and they're doing better than you or just as good as you, you're never going to really see them for who they are. I think that's what's going on. Y'all leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know, do y'all think Porsha pulled that stunt because she wanted all the shine for herself, or is it one of those things, like I said, she's embarrassed, she don't want to face Nene, knowing Nene is with Naomi. Naomi is friends with Simon. You know, it could be very complex. It could be complicated. Maybe it was a possibility she was smelling herself and thinking she was better than Nene. She's too embarrassed to have to face Nene now that the dynamics of her marriage has changed. Let me know what y'all think, right? But that's what I believe. That's my assumption. I really can't think of any other reasons. It's just too convenient that in the midst of her divorce that this happens. With all of this controversy coming out about Simon, she all of a sudden don't want to be around Nene. You and Nene was the dynamic duo with y'all Nigerian men. Y'all constantly double dated, went out together, had dinners together. That's why her and Nene was so close, because they both was able to relate. They're dealing with Nigerian men who share the same philosophies, cultural differences, and that's where their friendship mended, because they both was able to relate to each other in that sense. So I know why Nene is lost in the sauce and she's bewildered. And if that was the case, Porsha, I knew it was the reason I didn't like Porsha. I keep saying Porsha ain't right, y'all. Porsha is so full of it. Y'all be giving these women a pass because they look pretty and got nice bodies, and they just as venomous as a poisonous snake. Just a snake. I'm Porsha Python. I'm gonna call her Porsha the Python, okay? Because she be snaking the way she be moving, okay? She be moving like a snake out here in these streets, all right? Anyway, hit that like button. I've been meaning to tell y'all from the beginning. Please go ahead and hit the likes before you leave, before you exit the congregation. Hit the likes. So anyway, y'all, I'm already over an hour and some change. Hit the like button. Let me know what y'all think. And until next time, y'all have a wonderful weekend. And again, it is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. And if you didn't subscribe already to the lounge, make sure you subscribe to the lounge. For those of you who have not been getting notifications, because it does happen, go to my channel, unclick the bell, re-click the notification bell, and make sure it is on all and not personalized. Also, by the way, if y'all see me in other spaces, I do go under my other channel, other channel named Mocha's Cafe. Okay, so when you see Mocha's Cafe, that's Mocha's Ladies Lounge. That is out of respect when I go to other content creators and chime in on their lives. I don't want to bring my channel Mocha's Ladies Lounge, because to me that's like advertising in somebody else's home front, and I try not to do that. So whenever you see Mocha's Cafe, realize that is me. That is Mocha from Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Give me a little shout out, if you see me hanging out in certain spaces. But I am that same individual that y'all see under the name Mocha's Ladies Lounge. So anyway, y'all, be blessed. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.